Alright, it's time to rank another soundtrack, and this time I'm going to be doing Mickey Mousecapade on the NES. As always, I'm just doing the stage themes, so I'm not comparing apples to oranges, so there'll be no invincibility theme, no ending, no boss battle theme, which is probably my favorite song in the game for the record, but won't be included in this list. So there are 5 stage themes altogether. And I'll preface this like I always do, that this list is just my opinion. It's an arbitrary list that doesn't mean anything. If your opinion differs, that's fine. In fact, feel free to leave your comments, your opinions in the comments section, and discussion and debate is welcome as always. So without any further ado, let's get on with the list. Number 5, The Castle. This is an okay riff. It's a little bit out of place to me. It sounds more like a bonus stage or an early level, like a town in an RPG kind of thing, where it's not that this sounds like a town in an RPG, but something like a safe place, not the final stage of the fucking game. But like I said in the previous rankings, the appropriateness of the theme being a fit for the stage doesn't really weigh in on my ranking. I only rank how I feel the song is on its own merit. And again, it's like, this is decent. It's an okay riff, but it's just that it's really just a couple of variations of the same riff over and over again. There is one little part where it sounds like we're gonna go into a whole nother section, but it's just a tease. It only plays twice, and then we're right back into the main riff again. So it gets repetitive, and you're in a stage where you're oftentimes having to backtrack and get Minnie back, and it's like, you know, you hear it for quite a while, and it doesn't take long to get kind of wear on you. Number 4, Funhouse. Now, the Funhouse is kind of repetitive too, but it's not nearly as much as the Castle. At least here we get 2 measures of the main riff, followed by another short section that alternates from one to the other on each go-around. It's not the most imaginative arrangement of all time or anything like that, but it's not the same thing over and over again either. And the riff is just more melodic in general. Number 3, The Ocean. The verse is the same riff repeated 4 times, but you can make the argument that it's the best riff in the game. It goes up and down all over the scale. So there's more variety in just this riff alone than there is in either of the previous songs on this countdown in their entirety. Following the verse is, I don't want to call it really a refrain, it feels more like a bridge. It's a little too subdued, I think, to be a chorus. The verse is more hooky, really, and this bridge is kind of a way to bring it all down a little bit. But this bridge has, and it's not odd timing, because the whole song is in 3/4 time, but the way some of the measures flow into each other in the bridge makes it sound like it's an odd time. I think it's just the placement of the notes. It gives it the illusion of it being more intricate and complicated than it actually is, which is pretty cool. Number 2, The Pirate Ship. A friend of mine once told me 3 notes always sound good, and the lead riff in Pirate Ship does that. You got a 3-note sequence in the lead that carries the main verse, with some other sprinkles in between. But what's cool about it is the contrast between the rhythm section and the lead. While the lead is only a few notes and sustained, the rhythm section is busy as hell. The bass and drums are just banging away, creating that contrast. I know I've mentioned this in previous soundtrack rankings, and I don't want to sound like I'm rehashing the same shit, but I feel like pointing it out every time I hear it. Now, this does flow into a refrain, where now the lead has joined in and is playing a busier sequence, and all the instrumentation is chaotic. It's really cool. It's dark and brooding, really the opposite of basically the entirety of the rest of the soundtrack. You'd think that this was the final stage upon hearing it. It's a shame that the stage is really short, because you don't get to hear too much of it as a result. And number 1, The Woods. It was hard for me to even realize that this was my favorite song on the soundtrack, because it's my least favorite stage in the game, and hearing the song, of course, reminds me of it. But I can't help it. Even though the stage always pisses me off, and it's not that long of a loop, I dig the riff too much not to rank it number 1. Like I said, the song is short, but it's so up-tempo that it goes in quite a few directions in the 20 seconds that the loop lasts. I love the way certain notes have this pitch bend thing going on. And the transitions between each section is very well done, too. So that'll do it for this list. Here's a quick recap. Number 5 was the castle. Number 4, the funhouse. Number 3, the ocean. Number 2, the pirate ship. And number 1, the woods. So that was this ranking, my ranking. What is your ranking? Feel free to leave comments if you want to talk about a specific song, the whole ranking, whatever your opinion was, agree or disagree. Feel free to leave your comments in the comments. So that's it for this ranking. I'll see you next time.